Hello creation, I hope you're well. I've not been up that long. Um, I feel that I have to do this video last night, or maybe just before I woke up, whenever it was the dream state. I was actually with an old buddy of mine who I haven't been in touch with for years. And I want to tell you about that experience. Now, I met this guy and his then wife in Turkey. Great guy from Holland. We became the best of friends at that time. I was so wrapped up in football. Never had a football off the end of my foot. Was playing football whenever I could. And he was the same, with loved his football, big football fan. And we really hit it off. So much so that we've just become the best of buddies. Myself and my then partner, we'd go over to Holland and they'd absolutely spoil us, and then him and his wife would come over and we'd absolutely spoil them. A great guy, a very, very, very great guy, and I still think so to this day. I was also at that time, I loved a spiritual connection that was a very, 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 very deep connection for me. And I'd had a friendship with this lady, not sexual or anything like that, but I'd had a friendship with her for, in total, I think it was about 15 years. And unfortunately, her partner passed away through his own actions. Now, I'd agreed to be my buddy's best man at his wedding, but the funeral was on the same day. So I made the choice, because I actually made the choice to go to both, the funeral and the wedding on the same day. But I had to let him down to be his best man. But I did say that I would try and get to have a beer with him, This is obviously something that is coming up for me to finally release, because I've carried guilt for letting him down, and I've also carried a sadness for the friendship with the lady who I chose to walk away from as well. Now, so I went to the funeral, and then I hired a car. I went to the airport, and then I flew over and hired a car, and I managed to get to my buddy's on his wedding day at 11:30 at night. I managed to have a beer with him. I should have made the choice to have gone and been my buddy's best man, because and that choice, because I'd made that choice first, and ultimately I did let him down on his wedding day, and I have carried guilt about that. So that last night was a lovely experience to see him. We were getting off a bus together. No, it was a bus. It was definitely a bus. And he walked down, and he used to tower over me. I think it was about 6'6" or 5 or 6. And he walked down the steps, and so I walked down one of them. I was same level as him, you know. I'd still got 1 or 2 steps to go. And I told him, I said, I'm really, really sorry for what happened. And he said, so am I. And I said to him, I said, I love you, mate. And he said, yeah, I love you too. And we give each other a hug. And that means the world to me, you know. There would have been a time when I would have let feelings get to me, and I would have been shedding a tear now from my empathy, love, and compassion, you know. But it's a final ending or releasing of that guilt, you know. And I still love him, and I'll always love him. I love my mates. I do. I love you all. I really do. With regard to the lady in question, I had to walk away because it got to a stage where she would hurt me, you know, purposefully, and then say it's for your own good. Now, eventually, because that happened quite a number of times actually, and eventually I just had to take my power back and said, you know what, I could see what she couldn't, and that was that I know that she'd had issues with bullies, or a particular bully, in her early years, but she had actually become quite a bully. So that was the decision to end that friendship based upon the latest you know, how do I want to say it, on the latest happening, let's just say happening, you know, occurrence of such. But also I had to take back my power. I had to take back my power. I wasn't walking in my own power, you know. But I also understand that people come into our lives and are in that our lives for however long, for us to learn from and grow with. And that's regardless of, you know. And I still have a lot of love for that lady, always will. And I still have a lot of love for my old friend who I've not seen for many, many years. Always will. Always will. But it's all part of our journey. Our journey of learning of self. Of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And realising our own self-worth. And eventually, for the decisions that we've made, to finally forgive ourselves and let go of that guilt. Anyway, I hope this helps someone somewhere out there, you know. And we need to release, and then we can live peaceful, happier lives. That's it for now. Take care.